Alright, so you know how we were talking about we need that every little inch, and look at that, that's our bypass, so that, you know, even if it was a ½ inch that we gained off of changing to that Holly one. And then look at this, like when it passed through, we had 1/8 inch there, 1/8 inch there, 1/8 inch there. I mean, it's nothing. I was planning on cutting that edge off of the battery tray before because I knew it was going to be in the way. And what I hope to use this battery tray for is reservoirs. We'll have power steering, radiator overflow, and possibly even the water cooler on the Supercharger, depending on how many gallons or how much ounces we need on that. The core support you can see is damn near touching, but it actually is about like that. But that still would be nice to get rid of some of that upper part so we can get that harmonic balancer off while it's in the car. So I think we'll just take, because it V's down underneath this, this is an upper piece, so if we can take out this piece, or at least the inside of it, and leave this outside piece.
And we had found a radiator, right, that bolted to this
front
side of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our radiator is actually going to bolt to this side of it. Originally it bolted on that side, which was, you know, would be way into that stuff. But we got one that should bolt onto the outside here with modification to this inner structure stuff. But I think we were the big deal is, yeah, this can do whatever. Big deal is this has to stay, because this holds the hood. So even if everything else goes, well, there's two things that this has to do. This has to be here, and the body mount on the bottom of it kind of has to be there. We could change to a double body mount, more normal, where we have a body mount here, body mount here. The nice thing about having the two body mounts is you can level the front end a little easier, but that does have that center body mount as the original style. So that stuff can be vastly changed in there if we want to. I think that's kind of where it goes, but we have to check actually how our control arms sit, because that's really what tells us how far this comes up in. So the K member on the front end there, so that, well, it looks like our sway bar is our high point there, so that has to be underneath, you know, the pan. The pan can't hit that, and then the control arms need to be level at the height that we want it. You know, you can adjust your coil over or however you want to lower it, but ideally your control arms should be flat. So wherever we set this up, we just put those control arms flat, and then with load on and everything, that's how they're supposed to sit, and that's how it's designed to work. You know, before, when we test fit that front cross member, we didn't have that bar there. The reason I put that bar there was, one, for the weight of everything that's on that motor. It was getting a little worrisome. The other thing is now we can't slide that cross member in because we have the two posts here. So before, we were able to set that cross member up and kind of see how it went, and we looked okay. One thing that does tell us our frame height is these are supposed to be flat. So that's where our frame is supposed to be, is right about there. So the frame was here, but you know, obviously we're going to be higher than that. So it has to come up here, and it'll go flat and then drop into the bumper mounts and drop into the rest of the frame. About 1 billion different things to think about on this. But holy shit, how cool is that? I don't think I'd ever put the hood on.
All it takes is one jump, one job, and everything is gonna be okay.
And of course the camera shut off right before we made it through. Narrowly. Narrowly made it through there. So after finagling the cross member through between those two posts, which this post had to go right here between the control arm and the mount there, and now we just need to move it a little further forward, and so we're going to make a new mount that rests right here and comes down so we can still have that angle right on our engine, and we'll get rid of this one so we can just move that cross member a little further forward. We're already dealing with tight tolerances everywhere though. But look how nicely the inner fender well sits around the coilover mount. And they even have a little piece that bolts onto the bottom of that to make this gap even shorter. So it ought to turn out looking really good. The other thing we got is this isn't in its right spot. It's supposed to be more like that. And I think we'll just make a cross member that bolts into here. I think that'll work really good. Even if that cross member that we made to bolt in doesn't work out, we can, you know, at least we didn't have to do a bunch of welding on the frame. The frame rails are coming way in front here, so we're gonna have to cut these down. And so we'll cut them down like this and then start taking them towards the bumper holes. Even though we might not end up with a bumper, I want to be able to put a bumper on there if we need to. Alright. It's our new support to keep our motor at the correct degree. Now we need to get rid of this other one, which you can see is blocking up the rig, but I knocked the block out. Knocking this block off. Now, let's get rid of this guy. Okay, dog guy. Now we can slide our cross member further forward here. Still need it to go forward a couple inches. I need to watch. I have a strap on the back of the frame there. And really our goal here is to see how far this frame is supposed to be up in here, and then decide where our other rails are going to be, so we can figure out how much higher this frame is than the rest of our frame, so we know how far that drop is going to be in there, and hopefully we can kind of mock up some of that as well. If we can figure it out by measurement, then we can at least get the back half kind of made, the two rails, and then we'll get them mated into this front one. But for now, ooh, this is my new push and tool stick. Get out of here. 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 Alright, let's bring this forward. Let's see if we're centered in our wheel well now. Being centered in your wheel well is kind of subjective. You know, with the way these wheel wells are, they kind of open up more in the back. tell you what. That doesn't look bad. God dang, how sick is that blower? Jesus. Dang. Let's set this wheel up here. I know it's kind of goofy, but it would actually be really sick to run the original style wheels. I don't think we can because of the brakes, but I hate to say it, it looks sick. I love this throttle body just kind of peeking. Well, what do you think? And how far forward it sits in the wheel well. I might go a little further forward if this was a custom. And on a custom, I like those white walls to be far forward in it, so it's kind of open and elegantly kind of goes down. And then normally I'd have the rear skirted, what they call motorboat and tail down. But since this one's more of a track car, kind of a hot rod, I don't think that's too bad. We got good room here. You know, obviously we'll be running a wider wheel, but even still we have good room. But do I want it lower? This looks very drivable. It's kind of a lot to wrap around your brain, you know, because just a little bit of, you know, if you make it a little too low, the sucker's damn near undrivable, you know. Make it too tall and you wish you would have lowered it more so it isn't so ugly. A lot to consider right now. This mock-up is really setting the tone for the whole build. If that moved a little further forward though, the ball joint is about right in the middle of #1 cylinder. Almost looks exactly in the middle of #1 cylinder. Right now our frame protects our pan because that K-member is a little bit lower than the oil pan there. That's nice. It's handy.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything